What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm waiverwirequeen. Today, we are going to do a mock draft for a Superflex league that I am in. This is a redraft league, and our draft is at the end of the month. We are going to have a lot of fun in this league. I will talk about some sleepers and kind of determine what my draft strategy is going to be. This is a PPR league. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of great content, which is going to help you prepare for your upcoming fantasy football draft and going to help you throughout your fantasy football season. Let's get this mock draft going, guys. All right, y'all. So the mock draft is going to be via the Sleeper app. And I am picking 9th in this draft. Let's get this draft started. So again, this is a super flex league, so you'll see a lot of quarterbacks going early. So for me, I want to see what's out there before I make a decision, and I'm trying to just do something a little bit different. I do want to secure my running backs. However, I also want to secure some of these wide receivers on the board. And this is a PPR league. So what I'm going to just do here is I'm just going to go Jamar Chase. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm not going to focus on my quarterback. So what I'm going to do right now is this is a PPR league. I'm going to, this is really interesting because I really like both of these guys, but I'm going to go with Austin Eckler here and see how that goes. So preseason has been going on. I'll talk a little bit about that. And some of these rookies have been impressive. I'm going to tell you, in a dynasty league, prioritize George Pickens a little bit higher than what you may have. He's healthy and he's going to be extremely good. He's going to be better than some of those rookie wide receivers you may have drafted and prioritized ahead of George Pickens early on this summer. So again, make sure you prioritize George Pickens because he's going to have a good season. So let's see what else I can do here. So right now you see it's still some quarterbacks. As you can see, they've been snatching up all the quarterbacks in this draft. So at some point I'm going to have to take one. But for right at this moment, I'm just going to continue to add at the wide receiver position. I'm going to see if I can get away with not adding a quarterback right now. I'm still kind of, dodging the quarterback position, but it's a position that should be prioritized in a super flex league. However, I still just simply really like how I'm building my team, and I do believe there's still some good value at the quarterback position. Let's see what kind of tight ends we have. I like George Kittle. I know a lot of people talk about how he's always injured. That is very true, but he still produces. Let's look at what he has done. The last few seasons, he produces even though he's hurt. But I know that you don't want to have to worry about your starting tight end constantly missing games. So you see the production is still there for the most part when he is healthy. But again, when is he healthy? That's the question you got to ask yourself. There's Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley. There's Javonte. I'll tell you what, Javonte, he will be the lead back for Denver. However, Melvin Gordon is still going to be in the mix, and that is just something that we all have to understand. So there's some very good options here. I can go Mike Evans. I like AJ Brown, but not as much. I can come down here and go Michael Pittman, who is going to have a hell of a season this year. He's going to have a better season. I'm just going to go Mike Evans. I guarantee you when it comes back around, if there's a quarterback that I like going into round 5, I'm just going to have to prioritize adding a quarterback. But what I'm going to do here is, since there's no quarterback being taken right now, as you can see, I don't believe the person they have picking after me is going to take a quarterback with their 2 picks. So I'm going to look to see if there's somebody I like. I would have taken Derek Carr. I actually do like Kirk Cousins this season. He hasn't been terrible. That's what I will tell you guys. He hasn't been terrible. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna come down here. I really like Travis Etienne, and I like Travis Etienne. Let me make sure I say my boy's name correctly. I love him in a PPR league. Wasn't great in his first preseason action. However, it's preseason, and let's believe he's going to be better. So right now, I can get a quarterback. I can either go Kirk Cousins or Tua. I can consider pairing Tua up with Tyreek Hill, which would be all right. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Kirk Cousins because I think Kirk Cousins, I trust Kirk Cousins a little bit more. And again, that's not saying a lot, but Kirk Cousins hasn't been horrible in fantasy. He hasn't been that bad, you know. He stresses you out. Let's be clear, he's going to stress you out during the season. I will tell you that because he will have those moments during the game, and that's early on in the game where it's like, okay, we waiting for Kirk Cousins to step up, and then finally he does, and then you're like, okay, finally, but he's going to make you stress. And so I still don't believe that this person after me is going to take a quarterback with their 2 picks, which I can be wrong. So I'm going to see what's here first before I make a decision. I do like AJ Dillon, so I'm going to add him. Another now he's not a starter, but he's going to play a lot. He's going to play a whole lot for the Packers. My goal is to always add starters. And when I look at Dillon, he's going to see a lot of starters type minutes. So I'm not even mad at him there. So now I'm going to come here and add Tua. And again, with your super flex position, you don't necessarily have to start a quarterback, but most people do. But if you're in a league where the scoring format is favorable to, say, the running back position, if you have a top premium running back who you can slide into that position, if your other quarterback isn't that great, then more power to you. Let's see what we got going on here. Now, Damian Harris stock has gone down a whole lot. I like Davis. There's quite a few players I like here, but I like, obviously, Drake London more than I like Davis. I do. I simply do. Zach Ertz, I really like him. He's dealing with some injuries. What else is new? That's normal with him, but he was traded to the Cardinals, and everybody just thought, oh, it's over. The career's over. But it's not over. I do believe he'll be all right to start the season. And one thing I'm drafting him for is the simple fact that I do believe that he is going to be a huge factor early on, considering Hopkins is going to be out with, serving his suspension. So I do believe he'll be a factor early on this season. So let's see who's there. There's still some value quarterbacks. I can always take a chance down here and add Watson if I feel like, well, I need to add another quarterback. And think if Watson was to play this season, which we still don't know, me picking him later on in the draft is a steal, and it's a high risk, high reward. But I still want to add more players to my team. I want to see what's going on, what's there at tight end position. Cole Kemet, I do believe he'll have a much better season than last year. It came on slightly as the season went on, but Justin Fields just wasn't good. It was his rookie year, wasn't great, didn't have a good offensive line, and he didn't look that great. And the coaching staff showed us that they wasn't in support of him. So it was a bad year for him and some of those offense players. However, Cole Kemet is going to come back and have a much better year. Again, I still want to look at adding more wide receivers as well as running backs. So before I make my final choice, I'll kind of look and see what's there. I will tell you, when I look at this list of wide receivers, Tyler Lockett, when I think about how terrible the Seahawks offense looked last night, Jesus, I don't even know anybody I would trust on that team. I want to trust Kenneth Walker, especially in my dynasty league, but again, they look terrible, and they look like they're going to have so much trouble moving the ball this season. So it's a team that I'm like, I really don't want to take any of their players. Again, I'm looking for players that I can start. And when I look here, I see Chase Edmonds, and I also see Ramondre Stevenson here. Again, just because you're drafting players don't mean these players are going to end up on your team. Some of these players, and I'm going to come in and add Ramondre. Well, let me see while I make my decision, because it's still a nice group of wide receivers here. I'm going to take Ramondre, but just keep in mind that some of these players on your team doesn't necessarily mean they're going to end the season on your team. You can use some of these players in drafts. Kadarius Toney's another player I really love this season. I do believe he's going to have a breakout year if he can remain healthy. I know that Daniel Jones has struggled. So he didn't look great in his preseason, his limited time on the field during the Giants' first preseason game. So I do believe that's going to be an issue for the Giants players because Daniel Jones simply shouldn't be that starting quarterback. And again, this is coming from a Giants fan. I'm a Giants fan, but I'm just being honest because honesty is the only way that you're going to succeed. You got to be honest. Don't be that guy or that girl that's drafting all your favorite team players because that's a recipe for disaster. There have been people who have done that over the years in some leagues I've been, especially when it comes to the defense. And it's like, ooh, you're trying to lose. But I mean, hey, if you want to do that, then do it. Now, what I'm looking at here is I want to add some more wide receivers because I have a few wide receivers, but I'm looking like I need to add some more. So Tyler Boyd, you got Michael Gallup. Don't know when he's going to be available. I like Williams, but I really love Williams in a dynasty league. Don't know when he's going to be ready. He's most likely not going to be ready week 1. So that's something you have to think about as well. Like he's not going to be ready week 1. What should we do here? Christian Watson, a young player. I'm sure he'll have some type of impact with the Chiefs. However, I just simply don't trust him in a redraft. So I'm going to just play it safe right here, and I'm gonna see what tight ends are available. I'm gonna come in here and just draft my backup tight end. Noah Fant. I do believe that he should be one of those tight ends they're going to have to use him as a security blanket because I don't see what else they're going to be able to do out there. It's just not that good. So I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to take Tyler Boyd because although Tyler Boyd is third when it comes to those wide receivers, I still believe that's a solid player coming off of your bench. With wide receiver 3 on Cincinnati, he still was able to get over 800 yards. It's going to be hit and miss some days, but however, I'm not looking at him to rely on him the whole season. I do want to go with Michael Gallup, and I just might, but the thing is with Gallup is I don't know when he's going to come back. But I do believe Michael Gallup's going to have a better season than Tyler Boyd. So I'm torn here, but I'm going to take the chance. Again, sometimes in fantasy, you have to take chances. High risk, high reward. Gallup will be back at some point this season, and he will have a better overall season than Tyler Boyd. So that is the determining factor. Tyler Algier, he got in there in the Falcons' first preseason game. Wasn't able to get in there and play a little bit. However, it just wasn't, I expected a little bit more. I'm going to take Gainwell. I expected so much more, but, they ain't really utilize him much. Now, I do believe I'm going to take George Pickens because I'm no longer going to wait. I waited and thought I could see Tony come back around, didn't get him, taking Pickens. I'll talk a little bit about Pickens after talking about Algier. I know that Patterson is the guy, right? We know that he's the starter. However, it was just kind of crazy to see that really didn't get a lot of action. There was some of the rookies who looked very good. Marcus Mariota, he looked all right. So I need a extra quarterback. But let's be clear here before I even make my selection. Desmond Ridder at some point is going to end up starting for the Falcons. I'll say that. So in a redraft, I wouldn't necessarily look to draft him, but in a dynasty league, he should be drafted. And if you can draft Mariota and Ridder, do it because neither one of them are going to go high. But if you can prioritize both of those guys, on your team in a dynasty league, then it's a good move, because at some point I do believe Desmond Ridder is going to take over that starting spot. Now back to the Atlanta running back situation. Algier really didn't get out there as much. We know Patterson's going to be the starter. Would love to see a little more action for Tyler Algier to see if he's going to be in the mix. Quickly, the quarterback situation with the rookie, Sam Howell looked very, very good. So in a dynasty league, he's somebody you draft. You don't draft him early. He shouldn't be going ahead of any of the quarterbacks, any of the rookie quarterbacks that have gone before him prior to the preseason. But to me, he looked like the best quarterback on the Commanders. He outplayed them both, Wentz and Heineke. He simply looked better than them, especially Heineke. If nothing else, he should be backing up Carson Wentz, and we've already heard that Wentz hasn't looked great so far during training camp. Carson Wentz is who he is. He'll never repeat that MVP caliber season he had. It's just not going to come back. It's not going to happen again. So you get what you get with Carson Wentz. So yes, the only rookie quarterback that didn't look great out of the rookie quarterbacks who were drafted was I'll say this. Let me rephrase that. Out of the most talked about rookie quarterbacks, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Sam Howell, Desmond Ridder, Matt Corral. Out of these rookie quarterbacks I just mentioned, he had the worst performance. And I want to say part of that is I was shocked to see that he didn't see action until the fourth quarter. It's like, what the hell are the Panthers doing? Okay, come on now. You really need to see what this young man has. Okay, you played Baker and Darnold early. I honestly felt like Darnold looked better, didn't have much action. So to me, I believe they've already made their mind up so they could stop playing games with everyone like, we don't know. It's going to be Baker. I believe they'll regret that at some point. But, again, Matt Rule has to win now, right? This is it. So I do believe at some point Rule's going to be out, because they're not going to win with Baker or Sam as their starting quarterback. So they forget that. Now, what I will say is they put PJ in there. He played a lot, which we know what he can do, right? They know what the hell PJ can do. You don't know what the hell you have in Matt Corral. So why not give him more than just the fourth quarter with the fourth and fifth string guys who most likely won't be on the roster? Some of those guys were afraid to go up and get the goddamn ball. So Matt Corral was looking like a fool sometimes out there. But some of the throws were on point, but it's just like, okay, you got somebody who's afraid to get hit. I want to see him playing with second string, maybe third string, whatever, not fourth and fifth, who are not going to be on the roster because you're going to be making some cuts soon. A lot of those guys are going to be cut. So now he just looked like, again, he didn't look great. Completed 1 out of 9 pass attempts for 11 yards. He almost got his head took off. They did take the helmet off. That was a penalty. But again, they blitzed the hell out of him in the first preseason game, which is crazy. But, hey, it was good to see because it's competitive football, even in preseason. But what the hell are they doing? You draft this kid? I want to see what he has. Hey, go in and put him on a practice squad and let a team who's going to want to see what the hell he has snatch him up. Because I just don't know what the hell they're doing. They can't have all 4 of these quarterbacks. So if you're not going to at least let the kid play so you can see what you have potentially, because we already know what the hell Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are going to do for you. Baker needs to have a strong running game, which they do with Christian McCaffrey. And if McCaffrey gets hurt, we already know what's going to happen, because it happened last season with Darnold. Look, he started off looking okay. McCaffrey went out with injury. Darnold looked terrible after that. Baker Mayfield, we already know. Anybody who's really watching the game knows that Baker Mayfield, although the Browns have won some games, some seasons with him, it has been the defense and the damn running game. Anybody who's still saying Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield, it's crazy as hell. Now let me get back to this damn draft. Okay, I need to make some picks. I don't have a lot more picks to go, but yeah, I was going to take George Pickens because I believe that yes, he's going to be one of the starting wide receivers. I believe he's better than Claypool. And again, when you're doing dynasty, you need to be evaluating every aspect, not just the talent. I'm looking at the fact that Claypool may do something boneheaded and end up on the sideline. So I look at that too as I factor in my situation on who I'm going to draft. And a lot of people were sleeping on George Pickens in their draft and not really prioritize him, especially in those rookie drafts. And I do believe he'll have a better season and potentially be better long term than some of the rookie wide receivers that were drafted ahead of him in some of these dynasty drafts. So George Pickens is a wide receiver you can draft in your redraft league because again, I do believe he's going to have some value. Now let's see what's going on here. Who's here? What's here? Not taking any of these guys. And then again, I want to look to see who I feel is going to have some value down here. I most likely don't need to draft another wide receiver. Wan'Dale Robinson is interesting because of the fact that the Giants have a plan for him. Early on, you didn't think like, hey, this kid is going to get an opportunity this season. No, he's going to get an opportunity this season. He's going to get a lot of opportunities this season, especially if we know that Tony is continuing to have injury issues, and we know that Shepard is not available. So we know that this young man is going to get some time. It's just, can Daniel Jones get him the ball? We know how Daniel Jones has moments where he simply cannot get people the ball. Mecole Hardman, I had him last year as a breakout player. Didn't look great. I just don't trust him. I think some of those wide receivers that they did sign are going to have a better season than Mecole Hardman. Not saying he's not going to be good, but yeah, I'm off of the Mecole Hardman bandwagon. I was off that early last season because again, he had his opportunity and just didn't do anything with it. MVS and I had his name MVS and Juju. I want to say Juju should be ahead of him in my opinion, and that's just what it is. So do I need to grab me a quarterback? Yes, but at the end of the day, I am okay with any of these guys because I'm hoping that none of them start. So I'm looking at my other position of needs, and that does include the tight end position. Austin Hooper is a tight end that I believe is going to have a nice bounce back year because he's not playing with Baker Mayfield. Just my opinion. Okay. So wide receiver, I'm just not trusting Kenny Golladay, and it's not all because of Kenny Golladay. Some of it is because I just don't trust the Danny Jones. I just don't, and that's just what it is. So when I look at some of these wide receivers here who I would draft, I don't trust Chark at all. Parker, it's a no for me. I believe the Patriots will struggle sometimes, a lot of times on offense until they get comfortable running a new offense. So yeah, I'm not going to do it. So what I'm going to do here is, again, I'm going to go back and just look and see who's here. Who's on the board, who I feel has the best opportunity to produce for my team. And I start looking at a lot of these guys. These are all backups, okay? And Chuba had the opportunity to, really, make a name for himself last season, and he just didn't have a good year. It is what it is. So right now, I'm just going to come down. I'm going to come here, and this is the question. Who do I trust more as my backup? Marcus Mariota or Mitch? Again, I believe Mitch will have the opportunity. He's going to play a little bit longer than Kenny, than I believe Marcus Mariota, because again, the Steelers are most likely in trying to make the playoffs. So I went with Mitch. I do believe, again, with the Falcons, Mariota is going to, at some point during this season, have to take a backseat to Desmond Ridder. But in the Dynasty League, I'm not drafting any of these rookie quarterbacks. So if someone in your league wants to take a chance and draft one of these rookie quarterbacks, go on and let him do it, because I don't believe any of these rookie quarterbacks will start this season. Maybe at some point during the season, but they're not starting the season. So don't even think about it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. It may look like a little reach or two, but I'm just going to do it. I do believe Jalen Tolbert will be a factor this year in fantasy football. And part of the reason is Gallup is out, and we simply don't know when he's going to come back. So had to take a chance on him. Watkins, if he can remain healthy, should be a good late still in fantasy. Late. But he's unable to sustain health. And y'all know I say it all the time. Health is wealth. Availability is the most important thing. And he simply cannot stay on the football field. And we need him to be on the football field in order for us to trust him. But he's never on the football field. So I want to come here and look at some tight ends. I like Cameron Brate, but not that much. Brevin Jordan in a dynasty league, I like him, especially if this is a true tight end league. He's young. I don't care what Lovie Smith is saying. Jordan at some point will surpass Brown. So if you are considering drafting any of the tight ends for the Texans, to me, it should be Brevin Jordan all day, every day, 365 days of the week. It should be him. And if you want to add Brown, go ahead. But Jordan is the one that I want. I'm going to come down here and take Mo Alley-Cox. A lot of discussion about the tight ends. For the Colts, we know that Mo Alley-Cox is most likely going to be the starter. Granson hasn't looked great. And then Woods, they said he's not looking that great. So I don't feel like any of the young tight ends at this point are going to scare or take Mo Alley-Cox job early on this year. Not unless they do something spectacular, which I don't envision. So now it comes down to, do I like any of these guys who are left on the board? These are deep leagues. So in a deep league, you're going to look. And so this is a deep league. And so what I'm going to do is just come down here. It's a deep league, and I found my guy. Do I like Wan'Dale Robinson over all of these guys ahead of him? If OBJ was healthy, he would be drafted already. Let's be clear. Curtis Samuel, I don't trust him. No. Hell to the no. So I would take a chance on Wan'Dale Robinson, being a Giants fan. And it's not specifically that, but it's because I know that he is going to be a part of the Giants' plan. And the main reason I'm drafting him is the simple fact that none of those wide receivers can remain healthy. We've heard about injuries out of all the wide receivers consistently being Tony. We know Sterling Shepard. He one of the greatest players for the Giants and as a team player. However, he's always hurt. He's always hurt. We don't know when he's going to come back. And then, obviously with Tony Golladay, we know that Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be available to start the season, to start as a starter. And we know that, again, Tony dealing with some injuries. It's another nagging injury. So we just don't know what the hell is going to go on. So we're going to draft Robinson because he's going to have a lot of value, and he should be able to help your team in fantasy football. If you are in a dynasty league, he should be on your radar because they have a plan for him. And you already know that there's a possibility that after this season, Sterling Shepard may not be on the team. And then you got to realize that Wan'Dale has passed, to me, I feel like he's passed Sterling Shepard. There's no way they're going to put Sterling Shepard in there over Wan'Dale unless Wan'Dale just comes out and he's stinking it up. But we know that Darius Slayton, that's it. It's over for him. And again, with Kadarius Toney, I need to see him be healthy. I'll tell you this quickly: in your dynasty league, if it's an established dynasty league and you're having your rookie draft and you are concerned about the tight end position, take Daniel Bellinger. Take him, draft him all day. This young man came in there and wasn't even being considered as a starter when they drafted him, and he has come in there and played very well, and he's the starter. Look, starting over Aikens. He's going to be the starter. I'm a Giants fan. I know this, and he has played very well. So make sure you prioritize him. One of the sneaky picks late is Kenneth Gainwell. I drafted him last year in my Dynasty rookie draft. Kenneth Gainwell is going to play a lot this year. He's going to get his opportunity, and I do believe he's going to make the most of his opportunity, especially in the PPR league. So if you can add Kenneth Gainwell late in your draft, go on and do it, because Kenneth Gainwell is going to be on the field a lot. And one thing we do know about the running backs for the Eagles, at some point they're going to have to use all of damn running backs, because they just like them 49er running backs. They get hurt all the time. But again, with Miles Sanders, he is unable to sustain any type of health for an entire season. We know that. So at some point, Kenneth Gainwell is going to be in the mix. And I think they're going to utilize Gainwell a little bit more this season. One, because the talent is there. Two, because they want to see if they can possibly preserve Sanders, and hopefully he can get through a whole damn season. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of great content, which is going to help you prepare for your upcoming fantasy football season and help you compete at the highest level throughout your fantasy football season, so you can achieve your ultimate goal. What's your ultimate goal is the question you have to ask yourself. I know my ultimate goal is to win, and that should be your goal as well. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks for listening to the Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Blown Coverage Fantasy Football Podcast.